Morning. One of the things I've been thinking about a lot, especially considering lack of sleep and puppy time, is that sense of impermanence. This is something that I talk about a lot, and I think it's especially pertinent nowadays, especially as we enter into the long, dark Seattle winter. We're still in a pandemic. If you're in Seattle, it's the second lockdown. We're now here through January 4th. And so, really embracing that sense that this is an impermanent state, this is very transient, this too will eventually come to an end. But while also thinking about that, thinking about the ways in which we can lean into this feeling a little bit, especially with the holidays being now, a lot of canceled plans. This can be a very depressing time. It can be a very emotional time. How can we take that and really lean into those feelings of distress, those feelings of unhappiness and discontentment, and create some room for them within ourselves? The full human experience involves both the joy and the sadness of life, and to really allow ourselves to be the best version of ourselves that we can be, we create room for both of these halves. We create space to allow ourselves to grieve and also allow ourselves to feel joy. For every winter, there is a summer, and for every fall, there is a spring. It sounded really uh, pedantic, but there it is. If you haven't already done so, come to that comfortable seat. Start to bring your focus down into the breath. Take a moment here to notice how the breath feels this morning. Let the eyes grow a little heavy. Let the shoulders soften. Notice any places where you might be feeling tension in the neck or in the jaw, around the eyes. See if you can guide the breath gently towards those spots. Let's take 3 rounds of breath here together to start. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathe in through the lips and out through the nose. Then seal the lips and breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Let the eyes take on a little bit of light. Bring the hands together at the center of the chest and start to briskly rub them back and forth. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but when I woke up this morning, it was cold. So let's get a little bit of blood moving, a little bit of warmth beginning through the hands and down into the arms. On your next inhale, come back to stillness, reach the arms out, lift the hands up, bring the gaze high, and exhale, bring the palms down to the mat in front, shift forward onto your hands and knees. Bring the knees underneath the hips and the palms underneath the shoulders. Start to rock back and forth over the knees and the wrists, or sway from left to right, or take big wide circles with the entire body. Bring that focus onto the breath. Notice how the body feels. Notice where the weight goes in the palms and the fingers and the knees. If you're rotating around in one direction, start to move in the opposite one. And take one more round of breath here with this exploratory movement. and come back to stillness in the center. Inhale and start to drop the belly nice and slow. Raise the hips, lift the chest. Be gentle, not too much this first round. And exhale, start to round the spine up. Press the palms down, tuck the chin in towards the chest. Inhale to lower the belly and raise the heart a little bit more this time. Press down firmly through the palms. And exhale, round the spine up a little bit higher. Tuck the chin a little lower. Pull the stomach tight. Inhale one more time. Draw the stomach down. Lift through the chest. Pull the shoulders together and back. Exhale, round the spine up. Tuck the chin low. Maybe even come up onto the tips of the fingertips for more height. Inhale back into a neutral tabletop position. And exhale, tuck the toes, raise the knees, lift the hips up and back to come into downward facing dog. Be gentle here. Keep the knees bent as much as you feel the hamstrings need. Start to pedal out the feet to raise one heel and drop the other. Bring a little bit of movement into the legs. Check in with the legs and the hamstrings here. Notice whether they feel tight or loose, warm or cold. Come back to stillness. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze towards the top of the mat. Exhale, take about a dozen slow, mindful steps towards the top of the mat. Take your time, feel the ground or the mat underneath the toes and the heels. Walk forward between the tips of your fingers. Let the head and the torso hang heavy. Take a moment here, take a breath to check in with the lower back, the hips, the glutes. Bend the knees to bring the palms down, or grab opposite elbows and swing from left to right to add a little bit of movement and twist. Inhale, heel toe the feet together to touch. Bring the palms to the front of the shins. Slowly roll your way all the way up to stand. Take about 3 rounds of breath to make your way up. Unroll vertebra by vertebra. Keep a slight bend in the knees. Engage through the core. Pull the stomach tight as you push the hips forward. Come to stand. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Squeeze the shoulders down the back. Bring the palms beside the hips facing towards the front. Inhale, reach the arms out, lift the hands up, bring the gaze high. And exhale, left hand, left hip, reach overhead with the right. Really bend into the left side, lengthen through the right. Inhale, sweep both arms up. And exhale, right hand, right hip, bend over to the right side, lean through the left fingers, reach through the left fingers. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale, bend over to the left. If you'd like to add a little bit more of a layer, you can keep the arms raised overhead. Inhale, both hands high. And exhale, bend over to the right. Really reach through the arms, through the fingers, almost like you're shooting laser beams through your fingertips. Inhale, the hands back up. And exhale, one more time, each side, bend over towards the left. Move with your own breath at your own pace. Once you come back to the center, reach both hands up high. Clasp the fingers together. Squeeze your palms into a fist. Can't see my hands, they're out of frame. Then exhale, start to sweep the arms over to the left. Add a slight bend to the knees. Come all the way down towards the feet, nice and slow, and start to sweep the arms back up towards the right. Lift the hands up towards the sky. It's almost like I don't know what this would be like. Kind of cutting through some hay or through some corn. It's almost like your arms are a scythe. Just continue to take these big circular movements. Keep the arms long. You can spread the feet hip width apart if that helps with the balance. Continue to move through these big, large circles. Notice any sensations along the side bodies. The next time you come all the way down between the feet, rest for a moment. Inhale deeply, lift halfway, unclasp the hands, bring the palms to thighs or shins, gaze down at the mat. And exhale, bend the knees, bring the palms back together between the feet, clasp the fingers tightly, and start to circle up in the opposite direction. Still nice and slow. Try and articulate through every step along the way. Raise the palms back up. Continue to bring the focus to the breath. Notice any sensations as we move through these circles. And we'll take one more full revolution, always at your own pace. Try to keep the arms nice and long, but pull the shoulders back tight. As you make your way back down between the feet the last time, inhale, heel toe the feet together to touch. Add that slight bend to the knees. Lift the chest halfway. Bring the palms to thighs or shins. Reach the crown of the head towards the front. And exhale, plant the palms. Step the feet back. Lower down onto the knees. And then start to shift forward. Walk the hands forward. Lower down onto the forearms, the elbows. Slowly like a snake all the way down to the ground. Bring the palms beside the ribs, untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet into the ground, lift through the chest, pull the shoulders in tight towards the mid-body. Exhale to lower the chest back down. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders in, raise through the heart, lift the crown of the head up, and exhale to lower. Inhale one more time, pull the shoulders in tight, lift through the crown of the head, reach towards the sky with it. And exhale, drop the chest and chin back down. Inhale, press down through the palms, and exhale, push up onto the knees, and then push the hips back for puppy pose, or lower the hips all the way down to the heels and stretch the arms out long in front for child's pose. Take 3 rounds of breath here to add a little bit more intentionality and engagement. Really press down through the palms. Notice any kind of tightness through the sides, right underneath the shoulders. Take one more round of breath here. Inhale, lift the hips up over the knees. Exhale, tuck the toes, raise the knees, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, start to slowly walk the hands back towards the feet at the back of the mat. Bend the knees as you continue to come back, come up onto the tips of the fingers if needed. Drop the heels down to the ground. Come into a forward fold at the back of the mat. Let the head hang heavy. Take a breath here. Breathe deep into the belly. Notice any tightness through the hamstrings. And if needed, bend the knees a little bit more to release some of that tension. Inhale, heel toe the feet together to touch, palms to the front of the shins. Slow roll your way up to stand. This time take about 2 rounds of breath, a little bit quicker this time. Keep that slight bend in the knees. Squeeze through the stomach as you push the hips forward. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Squeeze them together and down. Come to stand with the palms faced forward in mountain. Inhale, sweep the arms out. Lift the hands up. Bring the gaze high. And exhale, bring the hands down to the hips. Step the right foot forward as much as you can, almost like you're a monster stepping through a city. And then press down into the right foot, lift the left leg up, step the left leg forward as far as possible. Again, you're a big monster crushing through the city. Inhale, press down through the left foot, spring onto the left foot, bring the right foot forward to the front of the mat, come into a stand at the front. Inhale, sweep the arms out, lift the hands up, bring the gaze high. And exhale, hands back down to the hips. Step the left foot back as far as you can. Extend back towards the back edge of the mat. Pivot the left foot so it's parallel with the back. Pivot the right foot so it's parallel with the front. Inhale, reach both hands up and into the corners of the room. Exhale, turn the heels in towards the middle, bend the knees, bend the elbows, lower the hips down into horse or goddess squat. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up and out. And exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, lower the hips down. Woo, maybe fall over. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up and out. And exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, drop the hips down. We'll stay here for 3 rounds of breath this time. You can keep the palms raised, bring them palms together at heart center or hands to the tops of the thighs. If you feel a little too much heat, you can start to sway from left to right. On your next inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up and out. And exhale, pivot the right foot towards the front, bend into the right knee. Windmill both hands down to frame the right foot, pivot onto the ball of the left. Inhale, step the right foot back to meet the left. Exhale, drop down onto the knees, lower down onto the chest. Inhale, untuck the toes, raise through the heart, lift the top of the crown up. And exhale, lower back down. Inhale, push up onto the knees. And exhale, push the hips back for puppy pose, lower the hips down for child's pose, or push the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Take 3 rounds of breath. And if you're down in child's pose, make your way up to downward facing dog. And from down dog, inhale, bend the knees, gaze towards the top of the mat. And exhale, take those dozen steps to walk towards the front between the hands. Come up onto the tips of the fingers. Make your way between the hands at the top. Let the head and the torso hang heavy. Stay here with the fingers or the palms down, or grab the elbows and swing from left to right. Come back to stillness if moving. Inhale and heel toe the feet together to touch. Bring the palms to the front of the shins. Roll your way up to stand, this time in one breath, faster than the other 2 times. Notice the difference in the movement and the feeling with the speed. Shrug the shoulders up, squeeze the shoulders down and back. Come to stand with the palms face forward in mountain. Inhale, sweep the arms out, lift the hands up, bring the gaze high. And exhale, sweep the arms out, bend forward at the waist, dive down towards your toes. Inhale, slight bend in the knees, lift halfway, palms to thighs or shins. And exhale, plant the palms, step the feet back, drop down onto the knees. Inhale, walk the hands back towards the knees, towards the hips. And exhale, swing the legs around and towards the front. Plant the feet down on the ground with the knees pointed towards the sky. Bring your hands behind the hips. The fingers can face in towards the hips or out or behind you. We'll do a quick reverse plank, bridge, really. Inhale to press down through the feet, and exhale, lift the hips up, bring them up in line with the torso and the knees. Exhale, drop the hips back down. Inhale, press down through the feet. Exhale to raise the hips up. Really push the hips towards the sky. And exhale, lower back down. One more time. Inhale, press down through the feet. Raise the hips up. Push them towards the ceiling. And exhale, lower the hips back down. Inhale, walk the hands back in towards the hips. And exhale, find your way into a comfortable seat for our meditation. Or if you'd like, you can continue to slowly lay down towards the back. There's always a lot of different options for ways that we can come to sit in a meditation. And there's no one right way to sit for a meditation. There's no one right way to meditate. Once you've made your way into that comfortable seat, start to bring the focus back into the breath. Take one long, deep breath in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Take another breath in through the nose, a little shallower. And exhale through the mouth. One last short breath in through the nose. And out the mouth. Release your control of the breath and bring the focus into your body. Notice how the ground feels underneath the sit bones or your shins, or pressing against the back and the shoulders. Let the eyes grow heavy or unfocused or gaze down. Begin to notice where the breath goes on its own, how the breath feels, whether it's fast or slow. If it helps, take one hand and place it over your chest, and take the other and place it over the belly. You can use this physical touch to ground yourself in the breath, to ground yourself in the movement of the chest and the belly as the lungs expand and contract. And over the next 10 minutes or so, be curious about the breath. Notice how the breath sounds as it moves through the nose, down the throat, into the lungs. Notice how the breath feels as it comes out the nose, over the lips, brushes against the cheeks. Be curious about where the mind goes without judging or attempting to control it. Allow your thoughts to play out. And at the end of each thought, gently guide yourself back to the breath, back to the physical sensations of the body and of the air moving through you. You notice that you've started to grow lost in thought or stories that the mind creates. That's perfectly normal. Use a focus on some physical sensation, whether that's the breath moving underneath your palms or the slight rise and fall of your shoulders, or even just the feeling of your clothes against you. Bring yourself back into the present moment. Bring yourself back into this place and into this time. You hear sounds in the distance, and the mind starts to run away with those thoughts and create stories around that. Come back to the breath, feeling of the air moving down into your belly. Allow yourself to note those sounds without creating any kind of narrative to go along with them. With your next breath in, bring a little bit of control back to the breath. Breathe in through the nose, shallow and slow, and exhale out the mouth. Breathe breathe in a little bit deeper through the nose. Feel the breath move into the chest, down into the belly. And exhale through the lips. One more time, take a long, deep, slow breath in through the nose. And exhale completely through the mouth. If it feels right for you, bring your hands together, palms touching at heart center, and bow your head to seal our practice. Thank you all very much for showing up and practicing with me this morning. Hope we can all go through the rest of the day and keep this focus on the breath and use it to help us navigate through both the joyful and the not so joyful times. Namaste.